This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, Tuesday. Hello, panel. Hello, you. We've got our very own Dr. Coley here to kick things off. Good to see you. Let's start off with a question a lot of people have after watching the Olympics. I certainly did. U.S. sprinter Noah Lyles, I love him. He won a bronze medal in the 200-meter run, and he competed in the race while he had COVID. Now, Lyles was not the only athlete to compete while positive, and it's okay by IOC standards to do so. But I wanted to ask you, do we still need to isolate, or is it okay to be around people now when we have COVID? Is this a cold, you know?
So I'm going to talk from the medical perspective, and then I'm going to tell you from the ethical perspective what I think. So medically, the CDC
Watch
now
out, Doc,
says...
you're wearing your Republican red.
The only red up here, in fact, right?
We're all against.
That's usually you. So medically, the CDC says if you have been fever-free for 24 hours without ibuprofen or Tylenol, or if your symptoms are getting better, and that's pretty subjective, by the way, you don't need to isolate. You can go back with COVID. Now, I think that's more of a ruling of convenience, because you can imagine with all the COVID that's out there, if everybody was isolating for 5 days, it would really impact our workforce and what have you. But ethically, guys, I feel really strongly that if you have COVID, you have to tell people you have COVID, because just because your symptoms are getting better doesn't mean you're not infectious anymore to other people, and we're part of a community. So to go back and compete and not tell anyone, I think would be an ethical breach. But I don't know, how do you guys feel? Would you feel betrayed if one of us had COVID right now, for example, and we didn't tell each other?
To be perfectly honest, if I practiced for 4 years at something and this is your one shot,
you would keep your mouth shut?
You gotta go. Spaghetti, yeah, you gotta take it.
So it's
Mom spaghetti, is that what you said?
Yeah.
But how about you tell people, and then we normalize it and say, okay, well, maybe you can run the race by yourself, or maybe others around you can at least know and take precautions. Because I think not telling someone is a betrayal at the end of the day.
I don't know. If it's in the rules, I think you're okay.
Right. I think telling somebody is better than just running by yourself on a track, because it would be a tainted victory.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you gotta feel the other runners. Erica, didn't you run track?
I ran track way before COVID. But, yeah, I feel like when we're talking about this seems like a very extreme circumstance because it's the Olympics.
Right.
But for instance, like being in just this room, like there are people who would be gravely affected if they didn't know that, you know,
or family
someone
members.
had, yeah, COVID. Or like, for instance, I've had several medical procedures that I would have had to defer, and
sure.
it would have been very costly, and not just financially costly, but emotionally costly, had someone come in and had COVID and given me COVID and I didn't know. So I understand both sides of it.
All right, so let's move on here. More than half of U.S. states are reporting very high COVID activity levels. So should you get a vaccine now or wait to update it when you get your flu booster and all that in the fall?
I mean, I'm getting this question every single day in my clinic. So I say to my patients, it depends on what your goal is. If you want the best protection, for me, for example, I'm pretty low risk for getting super sick. I'm waiting because that new vaccine is going to have the updated strains. It's going to offer you the best protection. On the other hand, if you're very high risk today, if you're very high risk for exposure today, and I even have a few patients who had a wedding or a big event coming up that they wanted some extra protection for, then you can maybe take this kind of last year's version of the vaccine. But the downside of taking it is that then you have a waiting period.
Right, you can't
before
take the
you
new
can
one.
get the new one.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So sort of close the door on the kind of more updated version if you do that. But I think it's an individual decision. But for most of us, I'm suggesting waiting. It's only about a month away or so, and really taking those updated versions.
So it's so ironic. I wanted to get a booster shot this weekend on Saturday. They had one appointment at 3 o'clock. I get a phone call at like noon from Kaiser. And they were like, basically, this version doesn't really work anymore. Wait till the one in the fall. And they were like, we'll call you when it's ready. But yeah, I was going to go this Saturday, and they were like, don't even bother.
Well, so it works, but it's just not very good. And it's very short term because it's based off of kind of older Omicron strains, not the one that's currently circulating.
We need the upgrade.
And if you've recently had COVID, then you don't need a booster. So a lot of us that have recovered from COVID are probably good, have some natural immunity for at least 3 months.
Hasn't the whole narrative changed from if you said that 4 years ago? you would be wearing that Republican red, you know?
So I'll say a
Seriously.
couple of things. One, the virus has changed, so our behavior has changed, right? It's Omicron, it's kind of a more gentle strain. And two, because we're iterating the boosters much faster, that's partly why we're saying this. But the narrative is still very much every single person who's eligible next month when those boosters come out need to get it. And this is not a, oh, been there, done that, I got it a year ago or 2 years ago. No, that's gone by now. You need to get this.
It's like a flu
version.
shot by this point.
Okay, so switching gears, at the end of last month, Kathy Lee Gifford was unfortunately hospitalized after falling while she was recovering from hip replacement surgery. Now she's giving us an update on her health, and here's what she told the Today Show.
And then I was healing, and I was in a little physical therapy and stuff like that, and I thought that I was better than more completely healed. Was running down the stairs here at my home in Tennessee because my friend was locked out of my back door. So I just went too fast and in stupid shoes, and I went tumbling. But I realized that I wasn't in any pain. And a cracked pelvis, it was cracked in the front and the back. I was in no pain at all. He comes in with my x-ray and he goes, "Look at this, Kathy." And I look he said, "You want to see your x-ray?" And I go, "That's my x-ray?" He goes, "Yeah. You're completely healed. Oh, wow. You are cured."
So Dr. Coley, how dangerous are falls for older adults, and what should you do if you fall?
Super dangerous. I mean, this is the leading cause of fatal and non-fatal injuries in older adults, and 20% of falls end you up in the hospital because they're such severe injuries. And besides just the physical injury, you lose your independence, right? So it actually has an effect on your life in the long term because a lot of times you don't recover the same. And then the mental health effects of the fall, right? You get a fear and you just don't behave the same. A lot of my patients that have fallen become less independent, less active, less mobile. So if you fall, the first thing to do is to not panic and really try to assess what has happened, whether you have a severe enough injury that you need to call 911 or whether you can get yourself up. And the way that they suggest getting yourself up is sort of rolling onto your side, getting onto your knees, and then using some furniture or something kind of grounded to help you stand up. And then no matter how minor you think the fall is, that you need to make a call to your doctor and make sure that it's not something too
I
bad.
fell at home last week, and it's scary and it's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll just add to that because my grandfather died from a fall. That his neck was never secured and it was snapped. That's how he passed away.
Oh no.
Erica.
So you should also make sure that wherever you're going to assess yourself, that they are taking every precaution and make sure that every part of you is secure.
Wow. Thank you for that testimony teaching. We're so sorry about your grandfather. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Coley. DBL Nation, go ahead and follow Dr. Coley on social media at PyleColeyMD. Also, be sure to subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus, check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you again, Dr. Coley. Nice. Coming up on DBL, former President Trump sits down with Elon Musk for an interview on X. But did it help or did it hurt his campaign? And our interview with Dr. Yoon, we're talking to him all about the new trend of sunburning your face on purpose. Welcome back to DBL. So for 3 weeks now, Kamala Harris has stolen the spotlight from Donald Trump. Well, now Trump is trying to regain his momentum, and last night he was interviewed by the one and only Elon Musk on X. While the 2-hour interview covered a lot of topics, Trump did go after Harris over immigration and spoke about his own plan to deal with it. Let's take a listen to this first.
She was the border czar, and people can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. We're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice.
So Trump also sharpened his attack on Harris's political stance. Let's listen to that.
She is considered more liberal by far than Bernie Sanders. She's a radical left lunatic. And if she's going to be our president, very quickly, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So the Harris campaign is responding, saying Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class. What do we all think? Did he gain back any momentum? I do want to fact check here real quick. VP Harris was never the title or had the title of border czar. She was never put in charge of the border or immigration. She was, though, put in charge of trying to help address the root causes of migration from Central America to the United States, including economic conditions, combating corruptions. Erica, what do you think about that? Do you think this helped? Do you think this hurt?
I don't think anything. I believe that at this point we are in complete and total silos. The only people who are listening to this are people who are fully in support of Trump already. That is not going to change. I think what we have, it's just two silos.
And it's echo chambers.
Exactly.
Back and forth. Jeff, do you feel the same way? Did this help him? What do you think?
Yeah, in my free time, I don't listen to politics. I have a life and a family and other things going on. But to be fair, with the border czar, I've watched clips of 50 different people on television, including CNN, including MSNBC, including Fox News, call her the border czar. So to say that that's totally not true or to question that, I think it's up for debate because on every single news outlet called her the border
media has
czar. The media has pushed that. So now to pull it back and say, I wasn't in charge of the border, there are some questions there. I think it's fair to say, well, then why was all the media pushing that agenda that you were the border czar? Just a fair question.
And it wasn't corrected at the same time. I do want to get this out. There's a lot of people, including our YouTube chat, speaking about him slurring his words. And we're going to just take a listen to that. And I just want to get your take on that. Everyone, listen closely. Go ahead.
Because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices.
So some people were hearing that the S's were sort of hard. I heard a little, slipping. What was that response? What did you feel? He
doesn't sound as sharp to me. I hope over the years of covering him and politics in general, people understand that I'm a comic. I look at things from the outside. I don't have a team. I disagree with a lot of his policies, but that's a politician for you. I don't really care. I'm talking about on a biological level. We have a human being that's in his late 70s who openly says that he doesn't get a lot of sleep, he doesn't eat really great, and that catches up with you. It happens in sports, it happens in life. The people that stay more fit, I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but it seems to help, and he seems to be cognizant. He knows where he is and he knows what he's saying, but he doesn't sound as sharp. And we're going into a season where he's going to have to debate a very sharp litigator. He's going to have to be very careful about the words that he uses to not incriminate himself or recriminate himself, and but also maintain some semblance of an attack strategy against a very capable candidate. So he's going into probably the toughest fight of his political life right now, because I don't think if he loses again, he'll be able to galvanize this Republican Party. I think they'll start looking for another face, because 4 years down the road, who knows what we'll be looking at.
Well, well said. And slurring at the end.
Right at the end, I was like, well, I was giving an example of what he was doing.
I loved it. Thank you. That was very impressive. Coming up on DBL, we are talking with our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon. He's telling us all about this microneedling, and you can do it with your face at home. Welcome back. Over the last few years, we have learned a lot from our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, and earlier he joined us one last time to talk about some beauty trends. Take a look.
Dr. Yoon, thank you for joining us. We love you.
Oh, thank you so much. This is a sad time, but I appreciate you having me on one last time.
Absolutely. You're part of the fam. All right, Doc, let's get to it because we need to know if some of these beauty trends are safe. All right. People are posting videos of them trying to sunburn the acne off their face. I'm not going to lie. Some people in the studio have done this in their past. I did this. Okay, we're being honest here. I would go like this if there was like a pimple. Is this okay?
So you're kind of getting short-term gain for long-term pain in this situation.
Okay.
So it is true that the sun can dry your skin. It can potentially kill certain bacteria that are on your face that may contribute to acne. But long-term, the sun damage that you're doing to your skin will create premature wrinkling. You can get age spots. You can get eventual skin cancer and all these other things that are so bad about it. And the sun technically is inflammatory if you do it obviously too much. So there's so many other great ways to treat acne: salicylic acid washes, topical antibiotics. Talk with your dermatologist first.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay, I think I know the answer to this, but I want to talk to the expert now. What about micro needling your own face at the crib? Is that a good idea? Is this safe?
Actually, that's a yes and no. So if you've got a microneedling roller, I don't recommend those. This, however, is the Cure Microneedling Infusion. This actually comes sterile, and if you use it according to their instructions, it actually can be helpful for your skin. You just don't want to overdo it, and you definitely don't want to reuse those tips.
Okay. I'm going to be getting that. It works.
And also, what is microneedling?
Oh, I just got done.
I don't know what that is.
It's making tiny little pokes in your skin.
Yeah, I just got my plasma poked into my skin.
Wow.
And look, Dr.
She
Yoon.
looks stunning.
Look.
You look fantastic. I hardly
Shout out to
recognize
Skin
you.
Gen. Thank you.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about a surgery that gained popularity this year, the deep plane facelift. So how is this different than a traditional facelift?
So this is a little bit different because as it's described, deep plane, what you do is you literally dissect almost on top of the bone of the face. And the idea is that you lift the skin, the fat, and the muscle all in one piece. This is something that is a technique that some plastic surgeons are using. These are actually my faceless results.
Wow.
I don't do the deep plane facelift. For me, I find it's a little riskier than I myself feel comfortable doing. Studies show that you can get great results whether you do a deep plane or a more traditional muscle tightening facelift, which is what I do.
All right, Doc. So another thing gaining popularity right now, especially with celebrities, is a new anti-aging therapy called NAD+. So what is this and does it actually work?
So NAD actually is a naturally occurring substance in your body that helps to basically cause your metabolism, energy production to happen normally. And as we get older, the amount of NAD in our cells reduces in number. And so the idea is that if we can replenish NAD, can it potentially help us live longer? It does appear to be the case with rats, but it has never really been proven with humans. That doesn't mean some of these celebrities aren't getting it done with an IV anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, it's expensive though, right? I got it in there not knowing, and it was a couple $100.
Oh, you didn't expect that?
No.
But you can get it in pill form as NR or NMN. So if you want to try it, that's what I usually recommend. But once again, no science to show that it helps with humans yet.
So I got robbed, yeah.
To our viewers, make sure to check out Dr. Yoon's podcast, The Dr. Yoon Show, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you again, Doc. Congratulations on the podcast. Very cool. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Doc. Welcome back. We got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today? Let's all go shopping.
Hello, Tori. Hello, DBL Nation. We are so excited to show you the deals today, and believe me, they are absolutely wonderful. So let's check everything out and go shopping. Yes. First up, we've got the Vac Life Cordless Air Pump Tire Inflator. Ooh. This deal includes one air pump tire inflator, one inflation nozzle, and a charging cable. We have seen this price as high as $90. However, we've got it priced at $29.99, which is saving 67%. Up next, we have got the Sharper Image Dual Voltage Travel Steam Iron. Oh! This super summer steal includes one steam iron. Now, because this is so popular, we have a limit on this, 4 per customer. This has been priced up to $35. However, we have got it for $15. That's saving 57%. Up next, we've got the California King Englander luxury double high inflatable mattress with a built-in pump. Oh, I like that. This deal includes one mattress, and it's got a self-inflating air mattress pump. We've seen this price as high as $175. However, we've got this for $69.99. That is saving up to 60%. Last up today, we have got the Smart Tech lithium-powered jump starter and power bank. Oh, I like this. The deal includes one jump starter, one USB mini cable, and one heavy-duty jump starter cable. Jump starters have been true bestsellers on Morning Save. You do not want to miss your chance to order this one. It's been priced up to $60. Okay. We have got it for just $25. You were saving 58%.
Ooh, I like all the products. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag all these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or just scan that QR code right on screen. That will take you directly to all these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. All right, pulling back the curtain here. Does it count as a barbecue if you don't have something on the grill?
But you have people over.
Like ribs in the oven.
Jeff says no. So what would I say if I make ribs, I have all the barbecue fixings, but I made it in the oven and on an iron skillet?
Why would you make ribs in the oven, though?
You gotta smoke them a little bit, dude.
I have my own
technique. Coming to a weak-ass party.
Yeah. We have an opening.
You got a good ribbing there. DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys. That was funny.